Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode. In the last episode, we were searching for Flame and got an idea where Saritsa may be. But we're going to be saving that for much later. For now, let's first get through our supports and we have time to do some quests and progress through the week. Let's get started.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, Boar Prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in two.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say. Yet House Fraldaria still told that story for years.
What's wrong, Felix?
How pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him?
So this support conversation is actually very unique. You get the Sword of Zoltan. The Sword of Zoltan is a very rare sword. It's one of the more powerful swords in the game. You get one for free through the conversation, through the support of Felix and Dimitri. So as you can guess, this is exclusive to the Blue Lions route. I believe there is a way to get a Sword of Zoltan in other routes. I'll need to double check on that. But I know for a fact this is your guaranteed way, if you do their B. But yeah, and a lot of people recognize this as like Felix's signature sword, because he gives it to you from a support comm. Anyway, back to watching supports.
Your Highness, Dimitri, would you, do you want to train together today?
Ash, of course, I'm glad you asked. After classes conclude for the day, meet me at the training ground. I'll be waiting. And afterward, let's plan on dinner. We'll certainly have worked up an appetite.
Oh, yes, I suppose, sure, it would be my pleasure to dine with you.
Ash.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. I'm just no good at this. I'll do my best to improve.
Are you still worrying over what I said to you before?
I'm trying to do as you asked, but it's just completely against my nature.
Trust me, I understand the urge to show respect where it is due. However, that is not the case here. Yes, I was brought up in a different family and raised in a different way, but otherwise, you and I are the same.
That all makes sense, Your Highness. But I just can't bring myself to speak to you in such a casual way. Sure, when you get right down to it, royalty like you and common folk like me, we're all just people. But the common folk still rely on the nobility to keep the peace and to keep them safe. Commoners pay the price for that in taxes and respect. That's what Lenato says.
I suppose I can understand that point of view. But the flaw in your logic is that I am not king just yet.
But that's not all there is to it. I also respect you as a person. You carry the weight of the whole kingdom on your shoulders. You're a faultless warrior, and you're always so kind to your allies, even me.
On all accounts, I can say the same of you. But you also have a strong heart. I can't say that about myself. No matter the circumstance, you are never drawn toward darkness. That mindset of yours has done me well on countless occasions.
Well, I do my best. So I guess mutual respect between us is what's really the most appropriate.
Precisely. Which means there's never any need to be nervous or uncomfortable around one another. It seems we may have circled back to where we started with this conversation, but let's at least agree that we both should learn to bend a bit. How's that sound?
All right. Let's start from the beginning then. Would you like to train with me today, Your Highness?
Of course, Ash. Come at me with everything you've got. You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. Ah, I really miss it. Even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Your Highness, I have a little favor to ask of you.
Of course. How may I be of assistance?
Well, I was hoping you could tell me about my father. I imagine he was a very different man at home than he was at work.
Ah, so you wish to hear about the Gustav that I knew. As you know, he was a knight who served the royal family since my grandfather's reign. To me, he was a teacher of martial arts and tactics. He was someone I depended on since I was a small child. But he was also a very stern and strict instructor.
That doesn't surprise me. He was much the same at home. He'd chide us if we made mistakes, whether it was with cooking or even how we spoke.
Is that so? Funny. I suppose in front of his family he felt the need to demonstrate proper etiquette.
Wait, are you saying that's not how he was around you?
Even all these years later, there's something I recall with perfect clarity. It happened in the autumn of my 11th year. Before the break of dawn, he woke me suddenly, said he'd heard a disturbance and had me grab my bow. Then he set me and a fellow pupil loose on a dark mountain. Our only directive was to go catch a deer. As you well know, autumn in the capital is very cold. Now, imagine being up on the mountain at night with no idea what might jump out from the shadows. That, in a nutshell, is the Gustav I knew.
I can hardly imagine that. He was completely different with me.
I recall one other defining detail. He used to speak of you at every possible opportunity.
Really? What would he say about me?
Are you sure you want to know? There's one story he used to tell from when you were very small.
No, stop! It's probably too embarrassing to bear. Is it?
Perhaps.
Look, I'll promise to forget the stories he told me about you if you return the favor. Deal?
Yes, that seems the only thing to do. It's a promise. Ingrid, I've been doing some thinking, and it occurs to me that I owe you an apology.
What? Why do you seem so serious?
In a just world, you would be happily married to Glenn. He truly loved you, and it's clear that you care deeply for him as well. But on that awful night, he died right before my eyes. I could do nothing to prevent it. In a way, I'm responsible for you losing the joyous future that should have been yours. I know my words can change nothing, but I'm so sorry, Ingrid.
No, Your Highness. There's no need to apologize. Glenn's death, it still doesn't feel real. I always looked up to Glenn. He was the very picture of a perfect knight, noble and virtuous. In the end, he laid down his life, the ultimate sacrifice. I feel proud of him in ways that words can't quantify.
Proud? Truly?
That's right. I feel proud that he died for those he was sworn to protect. Proud that he passed from this realm to the next as a perfect knight.
Are you really trying to turn his needless death into an ideal to uphold? You and he are so alike.
Needless death? How can you say that? Glenn gave his life for you, for everyone, and this is how you speak of his sacrifice?
You weren't there. You didn't witness his last moments. If you had, you wouldn't feel that way.
I don't care to hear your interpretation of his final moments. He was and will always be an ideal knight.
You would do well to rethink that ideal, my friend.
Pardon me? He served in your guard. He took great pride in what he did, in protecting you. The very least you can do is not spit on his memory. If you'll excuse me.
What is the matter with me?
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
That was ages ago. I've had plenty of time to improve since then. Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter. But you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
Ah, it returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps. To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring, this time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself!
You don't like to talk much, huh, Dudu?
I am not skilled in conversation.
Any particular reason?
Reason? I am only here at the monastery because this is where His Highness wishes me to be. Many here are frightened of me, disgusted by me. I grow weary of it.
That makes sense. A lot of people hate Dusker. They think all kinds of terrible things. Some of them even think you kidnap and eat people.
We sound like true monsters.
Why are you smiling? Shouldn't it make you angry?
I suppose.
If those people would just talk to you, I'm sure they'd change their minds. I'll admit that when I first got here, I found you kind of intimidating. I didn't know if it was okay to talk to you. I hesitated. But like I said before, I just wanted to get to know you. And now that I have, I'm not scared at all.
I am not very good at interesting conversation.
We can work on that. Tell me about Dusker. What was your hometown like?
Calm. More forested than Fargus. Each town had a specialty. Smithing, fishing. You would be better off reading about it in a book.
Okay, maybe you're right. But answer me one thing. You're a great cook and you learned at home. Why don't you make more Dusker-style food?
As we have established, people hate Dusker. Food by itself may be harmless, but it is better not to sow seeds of discontent.
Ah. But the cuisine of Dusker is delicious. I'd really like to try more of it.
I am pleased to hear you say so.
Oh, this is delicious. I can't believe I made it.
Yes, you do have some talent.
What's the matter? Have I got something on my face?
No, Sylvain. Recently I've heard rumors about you.
Oh yeah? Which ones? Is it that I'm terrible to girls? Or the rumor where I bring terrible misfortune to the girls I date? I don't, by the way, in case you're about to ask. Oh, I also heard about how I'm total trash and everyone should avoid me. That might be my favorite.
Well, you don't lack for self-awareness.
The way I figure it, if I can't be respected, I can at least be well informed.
You are being described as indefensibly worthless.
Indefensibly? That's a bit harsh.
I already knew your reputation concerning women, but these new rumors deprive you of all redemption. I did try to correct them, but I doubt I was believed.
Well, thank you all the same. Listen, you don't need to worry what people think about me. As you well know, it's not easy to correct misunderstandings or change people's minds. And if I'm going to behave so badly, it seems misunderstandings are inevitable.
I could not be silent. You saw me as a person, rather than merely as someone from Dusker. I want you to be seen as a person, too.
I appreciate that, Dudu. You think the world will ever see us that way?
Maybe.
I can't tell if you're joking or not, but I like it.
Then we will get along. Forgive me.
It's fine. Honestly, it's pretty funny when you think about it.
I did not expect the horse to react so violently when I approached.
No kidding. and I didn't expect the two of us to get covered in hay.
Animals have never taken to me. It must be as you said. My face is the problem. I have not honed my smile well enough. I deeply regret the trouble I've caused you.
Don't be ridiculous, and especially don't be sad. It's no trouble at all, I promise. Everyone makes mistakes. Isn't that what you've been trying to teach me?
Yes, I suppose so.
It does look like this'll take a while to clean up. But if we work together, it'll be done in no time.
I am truly sorry.
Don't apologize. When it's your turn for stable duty, I'm happy to help.
Really?
Sure. And in return, you can help me out when I'm on kitchen duty.
Of course.
By the way, I tried out all that stuff you mentioned before, about how to not be a scatterbrain. I'm still pretty hopeless, but thanks to you, I'm making fewer mistakes. It's probably not a good idea for me to be left alone around knives and boiling water, though. That's why it'll be really nice knowing you have my back.
You have changed.
Huh?
You no longer fear approaching me for help. You simply ask. And now, when the need arises, I will rely on you, too. Are you injured?
Dedue, saving the day again?
Apologies.
I'm the one who owes you an apology. You've saved my life how many times now? If I keep being so callous, I'll seem ungrateful.
No matter.
But
I'm accustomed to it.
I'm sorry, Dedue.
Why?
Because the way I speak to you is unnecessarily harsh. The truth of it is, I lost someone very dear to me in Dusker. The punishment came swift to your people, and when I heard of the slaughters, well, I thought it was a punishment well earned. I thought the people cruel and heartless, deserving of the tragedy that ultimately befell them. But you're different. You seem nothing like the people of whom I speak. So why not speak back against how I and so many others feel? Why not question this unfair prejudice and tell me I haven't the right to hold a grudge against you? If you just speak to me, if you tell me the truth about all of this.
I do not know the truth of it myself. His Highness says the tragedy was not the fault of my people. But just like anywhere, there were many different people in Dusker, some very good, and others very bad. It is not unimaginable that some may have conspired to take part in that wickedness. Perhaps we are merely victims. Or perhaps we are regicidal monsters.
Whatever the truth of it is, you are not to blame. The people I hate are the ones who are responsible for that whole mess. You just got caught up in all of it.
Ingrid.
You've rushed to my side. You've saved me countless times. I am sorry for how I've treated you. Truly.
If you think of me as your ally, that will suffice. For me, that is enough.
Hello, Felix. So, it was your turn to clean out the greenhouse, right?
Yes.
Well, I went ahead and took care of it. I also cleaned up the warehouse.
Why?
I just wanted to help you out. So that... Okay, fine. I'm bribing you. So you'll forget.
Forget what?
Are you really gonna make me say it? Before, in the greenhouse, I want you to forget what you saw and heard. If you agree to forget about it, I'll take your shift in the stables. Do we have a deal?
No thanks.
No? But that's not okay! You have to forget about it, right this moment!
I can't. It's permanently etched in my memory. A mountain of sweets, as well as steaks and cakes. Stacks of them, apparently. I'm also intrigued by those bear and swamp beastie songs you mentioned. Ah, and I've been meaning to ask about the move that went along with crumbs and yums. Was that fencing footwork?
Oh, stop it, Felix! You're a villain!
Hmm?
You think you're so funny? Keeping a straight face while mocking my singing and dancing? Well, you have to forget about it! Please! What if I make you a nice steak dinner? You like steak, don't you, Felix? It'll be yummy!
This isn't about steak. I just...
Fine, be stubborn! Tell the whole world for all I care! I'll just learn to live with the funny looks I'll get from everyone. They'll all say, there goes that Annette, the girl with the funny ideas about food. You're just the evilest of villains, Felix! I'll hate you forever and ever!
I was just trying to be nice. Funny ideas about food. Even the bullies in her head are ridiculous. I really don't understand that girl. Hello?
Oh, hello. Have you been there long? I was absorbed in this book.
Another silly legend?
First of all, they're not silly. And second of all, no. It's an essay that speaks to uncommon and challenging battle scenarios. I've been researching such things since you proposed your unique strategy. Listen to this. Your commander gives orders that put your hometown in extreme danger. Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
What nonsense. I was talking about real-world tactics, not some dumb ethical question.
Whatever your personal feelings on the matter, I see similarities between such tactics and these dumb ethical questions. I haven't read beyond this one, but I think the obvious answer is to follow your commander. The duty and pride of being a knight demand that you follow orders, regardless of your own feelings. But if I were put in such a position, I don't know how I'd fare. In fact, were someone to carry out those orders, I know that I'd attempt to stop them.
Stop bothering with all this. You're not meant to be a knight. Go find a husband.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
I know you hate the ideals of chivalry and pride. So much so, you prefer to escape your duty as your family's heir. You have no right to criticize me for my ideals.
Perhaps not. At least I know not to heedlessly obey orders. I know not to romanticize blind obedience. My brother taught me to think for myself.
Don't you dare bring Glenn into this.
You're right. Forget it. Sylvain, I want to apologize for the other day.
The other day? What are you talking about, Felix? Is this a trap?
You know, when I called you insatiable.
Oh, that? Can't say it didn't hurt, but you have nothing to apologize for. I mean, you've said worse, Felix. Considerably worse. Come on, we've known each other since we were kids. We're not gonna let your constant verbal abuse get in the way of our friendship, are we?
No, I suppose not.
Whenever I started doing something dumb, you'd yell at me about it.
And whenever you dragged me into something, Ingrid would find out and start lecturing us.
All these years and not much has changed, has it? But you're different, Felix. You used to be so, I don't know, carefree when we were young. Now you're the exact opposite.
Well, you're not any different. Good for nothing then, good for nothing now.
Again with the abuse. This from the guy who's always been by that good-for-nothing side. So, did you come to apologize or to insult me?
I was on my way to train and I saw you. That's all.
You're off to train again? Now who's insatiable?
Better than sitting idle like you.
A little idleness would do you some good, pal. Come on, let me buy you something to eat.
No.
You have to choose, Felix. Our friendship or your training.
My training. Goodbye for now.
What did... is he... Wait, Felix, I'll come train too. Wait up.
Hey, Sylvain, can we talk?
What's up, Ash? Looking for more life tips?
No. But I did want to thank you for coming to my aid in battle the other day.
That? No need to thank me for that.
No, really, I insist. If you hadn't been there, I definitely would have been finished. You really set a model for my training. I can only hope I'll be able to save someone like that someday.
Again with the studying and the training? You're so stubborn you make Ingrid and His Highness seem downright easygoing. My advice on the whole thing is to just follow your instincts. That's what I do. If someone's in trouble, I help them. You don't need to be a valiant knight to know that. Doesn't matter if the person is an ugly old man or the cutest girl you've ever seen. You help them.
So you're saying...
Everybody's the same, deep down. It's our job to help anyone who needs it.
Ah.
What? You're looking at me funny. Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm just surprised, that's all. You're actually a much better person than I thought.
Was that a compliment? I can't tell.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean any insult. I was just really impressed by what you said about helping people without even thinking. To jump in and help someone without any thought at all of reward. That is real virtue.
How did you say that with a straight face? I'd be embarrassed if I were you. Come on, Ash. You're an honest and overall great guy. You'll be an honest and overall great knight, too. Of course, people like you need to watch out for greedy people.
Huh?
Remember when I said I didn't need any thanks? Well, I didn't say anything about not wanting a reward. There's a girl, and we had a misunderstanding about who was allowed to date who, so, I need to hang out in your room until everything calms down. Should only be a day. Or 2. Tops.
Sylvain?
Come on, Ash. Remember, if someone's in trouble, you help them. You want to be a great knight, yeah?
Oh, fine. Since you helped me, but just this once.
All right, I knew I could count on you. You'll definitely be a great knight.
He really would be a great person, if he could just stop all the scandal.
Whoa, what happened? The pan's smoking.
Mercedes, what's going on? My eyes, I can barely breathe.
Oh, Ash, I'm so glad you're here. My cooking's not going very well at all.
What did you put in there?
I used some of this spice, that seasoning, and the herbs on the top shelf. Then I started frying it in oil.
That explains it. We use that herb for smoke bombs. Just turn the heat off and cover the pan.
Oh no, the people in the dining hall don't look so good.
Sorry, everybody. Could we clear out the dining hall for a few minutes, please? Well, some folks were a little annoyed, but at least we got the place cleared out. It's a good thing no one mistook all that smoke for an attack. That could have been a disaster.
I'm so sorry. I always mess everything up.
No, it's my fault. I should have taught you which herbs to avoid. Don't blame yourself.
I just need to figure out how to do it right for next time.
Next time? You still want to try again, even after all that?
Of course! If I didn't, that would just be a waste of everything you taught me.
I guess that's true.
If you quit every time you made a mistake, then you'd never learn anything, right?
That's a great point.
Ah, Maybe my mistake was frying the herb in oil. If I had boiled it instead, then there wouldn't be smoke. What do you think, Ash?
Boiling, huh? Yeah, that'd be fine.
Great! I'm gonna get this right next time for sure.
Okay, now that you know the technique, go ahead and solve this problem.
Ah, I've got it. Finally.
See? Isn't it fun to learn?
Absolutely. You're great at this, you know. You really seem to have all the answers. I wish I could study and just soak up knowledge like you. How did you get so good at this?
Well, studying was something of a necessity for me.
What do you mean?
My father was one of the king's knights. One day, he never returned home. He just left without ever saying a word to me or my mother.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Losing a father so suddenly? I completely understand.
After he left, I thought a lot about where he might have gone. My father was a devout believer, so I was certain he must have come here, to Garreg Mach.
Here? Really?
That's why I was determined to gain acceptance into the academy. I needed to come here so I could search for my father. The problem was that I needed money to get in. Lots of it. And I didn't have any at all. So I entered the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad first, hoping I could somehow find a path here. I studied tirelessly until I finally earned myself a recommendation.
Oh, wow. So for you, studying has been like a way to meet your destiny.
Destiny, huh? Well, yes, but it's a bit embarrassing when you put it like that. Now I have other reasons for wanting to keep trying hard. I want to protect all of my friends and allies here. I'm studying hard so I can be as useful as possible to everyone I hold dear.
You've worked so hard. I really respect that. I'm going to follow your example. Do you know this legend, Ingrid? It's about the Battle of Fodlan's Throat.
Oh, yes! I know it like the hilt of my sword.
With so many valiant knights appearing in this story, I couldn't help but wonder which was your favorite. I really like this one, the one in the middle, the knight who stands in defense of the Duke.
Such a wonderful knight. One of my favorites as well.
That makes sense. He's so noble and virtuous. In fact, he kind of reminds me of you.
Thank you. You remind me of him as well. You are honest, as is he.
No, I'm nowhere near as great. Maybe someday. Maybe if we work hard together, we can both become knights as glorious as the one in this story.
Together, yes. Now wouldn't that be something? If only we could.
Huh?
Ash, the legends are exactly that. Legends. They're not indicative of real life. The cards we are dealt are what they are. We can work with what we have, but we can't change what's in our hand.
What's that supposed to mean?
I long to serve His Highness as a knight. The sort of knight that legends are written about. But I was born bearing a crest, and with that comes responsibility. Whether I like it or not, I am the last hope of House Galatea. I am the only one who can carry on the family bloodline and restore our lost fortune. To do that means setting aside my own dreams and ambitions.
You still have the right to pursue your dreams.
Ash, I must ask something of you.
Yes, of course. Anything.
My dream is aligned with your own. Please, for both of us, promise to see yours through.
That doesn't seem fair.
I'll never be able to see my dream through. Doing so would mean terrible misfortune for others. So, I am bound by honor not to follow through on my own dream. But I can help you achieve yours.
Come on, this isn't like you at all. Please, don't smile when your eyes are so sad.
I think we got through a decent chunk of the supports, so we'll end the episode here, and the next episode we'll continue the supports. If you enjoyed this episode, do like the videos, it helps tremendously. Subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this episode, and share the video so that way more people can discover my content and help the channel grow. And I'll see you all next time. Later.